Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Batman Arkham Asylum. Have to think about it. So we've met Poison Ivy, who is in a weird outfit and basically in our underwear. And when we talked to her and got an in-game cutscene, and that's kinda it for the moment. We're just kinda introduced to her. See, the thing here, I would guess, is that maybe she's under a red light that would stop her from using her plant-based powers to grow plants out of her hands. Is that something she can do? I'm not even sure. And maybe they convinced her to wear any clothing instead of having leaves as her clothing. But otherwise, we're going in this room, and by the looks of it, there was nothing in this room. I guess the map just doesn't tell us. Also, there's a guy like hanging for his life over there. Meanwhile, we're still doing the same old thing again. I don't know why these scanners are letting me through. We're trying to save the guy who's the person in charge of the asylum, like Sharp. So we're going in here. Are we gonna fight a boss fight against a bunch of Project Titan crazy people, or what?
Please, someone help me!
Like up there, it seems like there's somebody. So let's just crawl through here and see what we can see. Yeah.
Help!
We've got somebody with a custom face. I don't get why this guy has a custom face. And like all the other enemies have been split between basically two faces. And here we've got a gate that we can unlock for another collectible.
Please, someone help me!
And he managed to walk through these do not cross police tapes and not break it several times.
I'm up here!
That's kind of silly that it actually took that long. So is this really Director Sharp, or is this just somebody who's gagged with the Joker playing a recording? And over there, I see a person walking around, and I see a statue. So wait, let's come out of detective mode.
Please, someone help me!
There's a guard over there. This is probably Clayface, if I was to guess. And I guess we're not coming down here.
I'm up here!
So Clayface pretending to be the guard with the hook hand. This is not Aaron Cash.
You need to get me out of this cell! It's me, Cash! I'm needed out there! I can help you! Help! I'm the only person here you can rely on, Batman.
It says, do not approach. Inmate may be impersonating other personnel.
Come on, man. Get me out of here. Please, someone help
See,
me.
take notice he has no skeleton. Every other person has had a skeleton.
I'm up here.
Now, if you don't know who Clayface is, then no duh, you're not really going to
Help me.
really get this reference. And as much as it's cool to have Clayface show up,
I'm up here.
you're basically just getting an Easter egg, and that's it. I don't think we fight him or do anything with him.
Please, someone help me.
And then I cannot oddly see on the other side of this door which is weird considering how we can look through every other door. So I guess we're going that way after everything else is said and done. Here's another electric door. It's just disabled. So it is him.
Harley! Ah! You have to help me.
Ivy? Gee, you look like crap. Maybe I can sneak you some shampoo.
The plants, can't you hear them? They're crying out to me in agony.
Yeah? Well, I really don't have time for this.
Please let me out. They'll die without me.
I don't know, Red. You're not on Mr. J's party list. Oh, well.
Please!
What the heck? I'll cut your break.
So outside of the red influence, it does seem like she is immediately sprouting leaves.
She's a good kid.
I could watch those two all day. What a riot! And speaking of riots,
Hey, this is a different location for the Joker. So he frees all the crazy people that are in the penitentiary, which is weird.
Cut me free.
And I guess it is also worth mentioning that I guess for at least the main canon and probably all the stories that have been told by the time this game came out,
Cut me free.
I don't know if I really trust this guy. There hadn't been any romance between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, but now in retrospect, having that be the case is, it's almost like this is the beginnings hints of that idea.
Your terminal has been destroyed. Give me the sequencer.
What? Oh, yes, of course.
This guy's all beat up.
It's useless. Half the code won't get you anywhere. We're trapped in here.
So now I have this. I had this thing on me the whole time. Security programs are broken using 512-bit decryption key. 512 bits, not terrible for an encryption depending on what algorithm you're using. By modern systems, you might go up to a 1K bit or even a 2K bit encryption key, but you won't go much higher than that because it takes so much processing power. And a lot of devices these days. Am I doing something here? No.
There's always a way out.
It's just waiting for me to hit the right stick for some reason. And that gave me what looks like a decent amount of experience for saving him. Nowadays, a lot of devices have a built-in circuitry just to deal with encryption. So this gate came on, and now we have to go down and to the right to bring up that, which on a D-pad certainly is not easy. And do we really need to be in this mode? Not really. So he's gonna crouch down, and then we play this tuning frequency thing, which has nothing to really do with encryption. And so it's just rotating the left stick and then rotating the right stick, and you're seeing that as I move the left stick, the symbol actually is moving with his left thumb. Now remember, all these security gates designed
You stay here.
by
Lock this gate when I leave.
Lucas Fox,
Can't have some of the
who
mustache falling back
builds a
in my
lot
hair.
of your circuitry and all of that, and this was made by Wayne Tech, so why you wouldn't have a back door doesn't make a lot of sense. Even if you weren't going to put in a back door, why you wouldn't have it so that it, at the very least, you could speed up the process a little bit. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Batman is paranoid enough that he'd put a backdoor code in all the Wayne Tech Manor stuff. So.
Get me out of here! You rescued the wrong warden. He's an imposter. You know how many freaks are in this place. You can't leave me locked up in here.
This sounds like it's actually being voiced by Patrick
Batman,
Stewart.
It's me, the warden. You know me.
Yeah, did Patrick Stewart... There. As we turned around, he shapeshift. So, some more. Now it's just Commissioner Gordon laughing. Oh. I don't think he's gonna change anymore. Alright, well, let's see if we can do this. Why did it not spray on the door? Yeah. Let's try this again and see if maybe this door would open as some kind of Easter egg. Now that we can hack up. Nope. So you're supposed to just be able to look through here and see childlike drawings, which one would assume you're not locking a child up in here. A lot of the stories, I would argue, that are best to be told are the cartoon Batman stories. So yeah, there's a better selling point in my mind and a bigger audience in my mind if they made a Batman game based off one of the cartoons versus the comic book series. Still have no idea who this is supposed to be. Did this guy just win an award? To, like, we're gonna let you. Alright. So this security gate. Now, the problem here is you can hack it pretty fast, but you're gonna have to be a little careful too. We've unlocked a new thing. And this thing does seem to like to draw on the ground. He has an arm in his skeleton, but he doesn't have an arm. I guess it's in his restraining suit. And I imagine these crazy people are going to be a little bit more difficult to fight, but that's about it. I'm having a hard time looking through this one. So you can't see through that door, but you can see through other doors. Then you've got some doors with gates. Let me double check to make sure if there's a riddle in this area. A case of mistaken identity. Oh. Well, that's easy enough. Just come over here. Riddle solved. On that one. That brings up the bio of Clayface. Another character that I guess was in the comics first, but certainly my experience as far as all Batman comes from the cartoon, or one of the first cartoons. In all fairness, it probably wasn't the first cartoon. On second thought, there probably was a very early Batman cartoon in '66 or something like that. Alright, so let's just go through this area. And now we have to walk right back through the area we were in the Green Mile. It's called the Green Mile seemingly for no reason. there really wasn't an execution chamber or anything. Whoa. See if there's a riddle here. There was one guy that was just hanging in the air in this room, and that's seems impossible. There's a Riddler trophy. I wouldn't be surprised if there is just another Riddler trophy. I don't think we can walk in there. And I don't think that there's going to be much of a shortcut through any of these. Alright. So that's a little weird because it means we're going to get to this next area and like one hit and he's down. That was nothing. That was super easy. And Batman, I imagine, would be in just scanning mode the whole time. This is, I guess, why in the actual comics, if Batman does have a scanning mode, it's pretty limited and rarely used, because otherwise every image from his perspective. This room is the end of days, even for the most celebrated whatever. Okay. So. The way this seems to work. It's way over there. I feel like I would die. Is there some short... Alright, that's killing me really fast. So you just can't use the cryptographic sequencer that far away. That kind of makes sense. So there has to be some other trick.
Surprise! You know, Bats, I always thought there was a spark between us.
So we're probably gonna fight her, but probably not do too much damage to her.
There is. I know, they're shocked. Come and get me, Bats. I double dare ya.
I imagine when I get to her, I am going to
You guys are idiots. There are guns everywhere.
Alright, so the trick here, I guess, is to hit these guys and run and take these guys out before they can open the lockers and steal guns. So perhaps this was the idea that they were going with, that they were going to have more gun lockers.
Hey, man, go easy on my boys.
Yeah, so you're just benevolent sexism here.
Hurt me, man? Hope so.
You can't take out Harley Quinn. You've got to instead beat up these nameless nobody characters.
Ow, that looks like it hurt. Oh, boy, get down there.
Alright. Alright, dodge towards these people. Now, this would not have been a challenge at all, really, if it weren't for the fact that I electrocuted myself and lost half of my health before I fought these guys. And he's the last guy, so that's gonna refill a decent amount of health.
Was that as easy as it looked? Huh. Well, it won't be so easy trying to catch me. Mwah!
Now, let me make an argument here. You fight the Joker, a standard enemy. That didn't refill all my health. But you fight the Joker in the first game. That seems reasonable. Then how about instead, in the sequel, Harley Quinn demands revenge, and she is the person in charge of tormenting you for an entire game. Instead of splitting it between sometimes seeing actions done on Joker's behalf,
Patient pacification system deactivated,
and sometimes seeing the Joker be an incredibly lazy supervillain. Let's just face it. You really can't make a different argument for that one. That was super lazy. And we're just gonna. You really don't have to do too much. It's just circle one way, circle another. When you start seeing something slightly green, hold it. Then you start tweaking a little bit, and then you have to hold it for a brief second. Now, when I do that, that's not getting me any experience, though. So this door is just straight up locked. So it's not getting me any health back. It's criminally insane to, for lack of a better term, it is totally criminally insane to have a shocking floor. And this guy is labeled as unconscious, but he should be pretty much dead. I guess that's the way she went. Let's check out this one body. Deceased. So there is like one dead guy here. And a drain on the floor. Alright, there was a thing. The riddle. So let's get that. The room is
This
the end.
room is the end of days for even the most celebrated killer.
A room that's the end of days for even the most celebrated killer. Look around, see what I'm seeing. What does this say? Homo homius lupus. It's like together, a group, a unity. Like, I have no idea what that would mean in Latin. No clue. End of days for a celebrated killer. So it's gotta be something. It's gotta be a room that shows something different. You can't grapple up here or climb up there? Yep. Yeah, I think you have to kind of address the point. Video games have consistently, and I guess this is true for most of Western society in general, and society in general, I won't even say Western society, there's definitely a distaste to show violence against women in even an equal light of distaste as far as compared to violence against men. This becomes a problem when it contradicts directly with the desire to have the femme fatale, sexy, bad girl characters. Like, well, I feel like I just opened up a way back this way. That's weird. Well, and if it was going to give any experience, that would be helpful. So, I don't know how Batman as a character is written to address that. I don't know if these are supposed to be like berserker characters and they do a massive amount of damage when they attack you. That might be the case. And I guess this is the general idea here. Is that we're gonna get our health back, and guess we're gonna try and scan as many of these cells as possible.
There is no way you were doing this alone. Who's helping you?
Here we have more scribbling on the walls, which makes these crazy people more sympathetic, and it still doesn't really make sense that this is labeled as the penitentiary when this should be the asylum, or this should have been like long-term treatment or something like that. The Psych Ward 101 versus a Psych Ward 1 or 2 or 1 or 3, and just like break them up in subdivisions of dangerous dangerous patients wing would be easy too. Remember, this game teased the idea that this was, look at that, ceiling fan that looks like it's barely the right size to fit in the room. Like, if this is your standard person that's being treated at Arkham Asylum, why in the world would you have a patient child teenager wing? Honestly, it's extremely rare that children are committed in the first place. They're usually tried to be treated through school systems from the home, outpatient. So this is a Calendar Man reference. The end of days of many a celebrated killer. Calendar Man, probably by far the most obscure reference of characters in this game, appeared in Detective Comics 259, September 1958, and I don't think mentioned at all since then. So riddles wise, that solves the riddle problem. Then we can kind of walk around until the next thing. It's weird you can't see through the doors. It's weird that some doors are just closed. I guess we are working our way more to the left. Almost feels like we're just going to come back to this area a second time. I guess the general idea is this is not Prometheus Arkham Guard's most wanted and most hated. So we can see over here another person hanging from a ceiling fan, it seems. Because they don't seem like, either they're hanging from a ceiling fan or they're hanging from a rope. And if they're hanging from a rope, then why are they spinning so consistently? Meanwhile, there's something here and something there that we can't access. more doors we can't see through. And another security gate is blocked. I'm honestly not sure if we even see another Scarecrow section.
Look who's finally turned up, the Dark Knight himself. How's it
Finally
hanging,
turned
Beth?
up. That was like a couple minutes ago, I thought.
Got a
Yeah.
little problemo for you. See those two guards over there? I know, shocking. How you gonna save them?
Okay. So we've got one that opens the door. We've got a wire that seems to disable that.
You gonna leave those two guys hanging around all day? No fair, that's cheating, Bats. I'm getting bored, Bats. Come on, do
Oh.
something.
So now we have 2 minutes.
A girl could have hours of fun with a toy like that. That was nice.
Free those guys.
Oh, and now you have only 30 seconds to get out. Bye-bye.
We're trapped. He's locked us in with a bomb.
Come on, use the cryptographic bat sequencer.
Quick, get out! Move it! Get out of here now! Oh, I thought we were both gonna die in there.
You're safe now.
You going after that crazy
We've got a
witch?
new
Saw
face
her heading out of the
skin
doors, we
on
got
this
out of the
guy.
room.
She won't get away. I'll stop her and then her boyfriend.
Good. Listen,
It does
I'll go try and get the ventilation
seem like
system
they're
working.
trying
If you find
harder
her, don't go
in the
easy
second
on her.
half to have
Me.
more unique characters.
You're expecting congratulations? Come on, try and catch me.
Did you see him back there? What was that thing he used?
No idea. He saved our lives. That's all I need to know.
So this would have turned off that gate, which, I mean, I guess for fun we can do this. One assumes if you hack these one time, you've hacked them every time. We've got another thing to listen to.
Patient's name is Victor Saz.
They have to remind us about Zaz. It's been
The
so
patient
long.
has transferred from Dr. Cassidy, who is on leave after the incident last week. Hello, Victor. Please take a seat.
If this was a much more
Now, you
open
can leave
world,
us.
Sorry, Doctor.
Oh.
Warden's orders. I can't leave you alone with him.
I understand.
so the previous doctor is on leave and
How are
afraid.
you feeling today? Victor, I can't help you if you don't speak.
Like, if this was an entire city, open world, and you just spent an entire act chasing Zaz,
Why
it would be way better than
The one that got away.
getting bounced back and forth from being reminded of characters and then kind of forgetting about them because they're not even the person we're trying to take out. Like, remember the crocodile was teased at the very beginning of the game. We have not fought the crocodile yet. This whole area is full of gas, and there's a collectible. So,
Do me a favor. Stop that crazy bitch.
another harsh language, unnecessary. That it's not particularly what you want. you want to be a little bit more family friendly. Alright, so there's gas all over here. So the idea of it being yeah, it's not gonna work. The idea of that being a bluff is wrong. I feel like jumping down there. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're fine. Nope. You are totally in Joker gas, which means we have to get over there at some point, and this element is a later action, and so we gotta use the back claw to get up to this, and this may very well just be running around and getting more collectibles. We're in a weird position where maybe collectibles aren't as necessary as they should be. I feel like all of the elements that you do for this when you're crawling should be jump scares, and we don't get that. And yeah, it's just a Riddler trophy. Yep. A spider, anything, a rat, some creaking in maybe falling out of this. Looking for Prometheus, which would be the godson, son of the god of the sun. But almost certainly that riddle is inside that room. This door is just locked. So now, is this door locked? No. Now we go this direction. Well, that's disappointing. So how does this work? It feels like we... Alright, I think I see the thing. Range amplifier. Increases the effective range of the sequencer, allowing it to override out of reach control panels and open up access areas that would otherwise be inaccessible. And then power amplifier, which just makes it easier. So we should get the range amplifier next, because that probably would open up some other ways. But from the looks of it, I don't think I'm going to be able to just throw a batarang and hack something from a very far distance, so I'm not sure how much that range amplifier is it. So the question is, I guess we have to get the range amplifier before we can get the special combo boost. And it looks like, from the looks of it, that we can't do anything else here. So we're just walking back. We've been given a small indication that the Joker decided to move, and that's kind of it. His condition was terrified. Yeah, it seems like we are probably just on a path in which we're going to take Harley Quinn out once and for all. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any more story that can really be involved around her.
Come on, keep up. You getting tired? Let me give you a little help.
I guess over here the range amplifier would have worked well too. I don't think she's up you're missing definitely
Ooh, you're getting warmer.
you're definitely missing some video game stuff. When we were on this electronic platform, you'd imagine if this was a bigger game and a better game, we would have had to found the safe path to get from point A to point B to where Harley Quinn is. Maybe we'll run into that later. This entire concept should have potentially been added way earlier in smaller steps. If we never see the electronic platform again, that's clearly a waste of programming and design. It has 4 walls, 2 sides, and 1 XDA. That would be Harvey Dent. Well. Let's see. Why can I not use the cryptographic sequencer? Is it because the door is already open and thus there's no reason to use it? Yeah, so I guess we'll use that later. And we've just got more crazy people. More cannon fodder. What the game should have done to tell me that these terrified psychopaths are really dangerous, which they haven't bothered to do, is they should have established one of them running towards a guard and then killing the guard immediately or blowing up the guard or something like that. Some kind of... If the suicide vests, in particular, here's Two Faces, Harvey Dent's / Two Faces, cell. Yeah, had they... I don't know how you would get into that. But you would assume Batman could just stick his arm through the bars and grab the item, but apparently not. Maybe these metal gates are going to be lowered. They're definitely different. I also see some explosive walls, so that's a possibility also. Then we have a slightly skew, and then a closed one. These cells are inhumanely small, by the way. Like, way too small. And I guess the wire there is... Like, I didn't even have to hit Y that time, I just hit X. So it kind of boils down to, if you have any kind of reaction skill at all, you're going to manage to hit them before they hit you.
Hello, Victor. Is there anything you'd like to talk about today? Victor! This is going nowhere. God! Get him out of here!
You heard the doctor. Get out. Didn't you hear me?
He's got a knife! Ah! Get a trike in him! Get a trike in him! Oh, God! He's on Bill! He's cutting him! Get him off! Get him off! We need help here!
Alright. So, with the amount of recordings we're getting around Zsasz, it feels like we're gonna fight Zsasz for the final time, as much as we're gonna fight Harley Quinn. Although it would make more sense that we were gonna fight Harley Quinn, since she's the one that's running from us. We've got another crazy guy over there. We've got an explosive walls over there. And I don't know if opening that shortcut really did anything for us. It's a shame that you can't get to the main menu and see what percentage we're at. We are just one fight away from getting the upgrades, the next level, which obviously needs to be a range extender. Apparently the range extender / amplifier is going to be a major improvement compared to what it is now, because it seems like you have to be right next to the device, which makes it feel like that originally they were going to have you have an animation where you plugged in some kind of cord, which kind of makes more sense than it being wireless. Although the technology in the DC universe does seem like it is fairly completely connected and wire and easy to hack, because there's plenty of hackers out there. There is definitely a failure here to bring in Oracle. She's supposed to be your hacker genius character, whereas you could easily see Bruce Wayne being not so technologically inclined, or bring in Lucas Fox as a character that you're actually talking to. But they don't. You're just kind of hacking it yourself. It would have been really helpful if there was a line of dialogue where Oracle got onto it and said, bring out your mobile bat terminal, or your mobile bat phone, or yeah, cell phones would have been around in 2009, so it'd be reasonable that you would have something like that. But you'd probably call it a bat terminal more than anything else. 1942, Two-Face first came out. And we are down now to 10 more characters that'll be revealed, and that's about it. But yeah, Oracle could have said she put in some new coding and she uploaded a new program, and that's why you're able to hack these things. Or you could say that she reinstalled the program because your bat terminal was upgrading. That would be kind of a funny thing, is that, sorry, you can't use your bat terminal right now, Batman, it's upgrading, and then halfway through the game he goes, that upgrade is finally complete. Because then you could just have Batman going, like he often does, just growling at Oracle as far as why she would have the bat terminal upgrading at the beginning of the game. Anyways, this is where we're going to end this episode. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.